Welcome back into the Sports Source. This segment of our show brought to you by Safety Systems. If you've always dreamed of having a true home theater experience, Safety Systems should be the first and only call you make. They carry all the top audio-video brands, and their technicians are absolute artists. Give Safety Systems a call before next fall and football season rolls around, where you can have the best room in the neighborhood to show off and watch Vol football, Vol basketball. All right, we want to talk some Vol football now. We got Chuck Cavaleris over at the Safety Systems drawing board. You'll see there some words on the board: youth, depth, and schedule. I want to play a little game here: excuse or reality. Heading into 2015, youth we'll start with. Is youth an excuse, or is youth a reality with this year's team?
Can I go first? It's a reality. I mean, it's going to be a very, very young team, and people need to accept you're going to see the youthful mistakes out of probably pretty good football players. But a lot of them are going to be playing that haven't played in the SEC very much. Even guys that played last year are going to be playing a lot more this year. So I think that is definitely reality.
I agree, and as I pointed out before about the attrition on the team, you've taken 8 guys that were at least had been in the system for a year and got rid of them, and now you're bringing in 8 brand new ones. So youth is a reality.
All right, quickly, you agree?
It's a reality. It is, and there are a number of different positions where they have better experience and depth at certain spots, but there's so many different areas where they don't. I mean, everybody's talking about how great this defensive line is going to be. They're counting on some true freshman defensive tackles to come in and help them.
Chuck, do you agree? Youth is reality?
Oh, I agree, even to the point of what Coach Butch Jones said about how nice it was just to have some starters coming back this spring practice as opposed to last year, even a handful.
I would have gone excuse on that one because you've got juniors now at this point. You're led by a junior at quarterback. To me, youth becomes an issue on the depth side of things, and that's where we'll take it next. I think depth is a reality. Because if something happens at the quarterback position, if something happens at the running back position, then you got issues. So to me, I would have gone excuse on youth because you do have some frontline guys that are a little young, a little older, a little experienced. But in terms of depth, that to me is where you've got real question marks. Do you guys agree or disagree with me that is a reality with a depth issue?
I mean, I think it's you do have a depth issue as well. But I mean, I don't think that the youth and the depth. I mean, I think you have 2 sets of realities.
Okay, well,
right there.
Okay, so you think depth is a reality too?
Yeah, I think depth is a reality as well.
Okay.
Everybody
agrees?
I agree, yeah.
I think it's more of a concern with the depth because a lot of the people you're counting on to help you this year are new.
Right.
Or they hadn't played before, or they're redshirt freshmen, or they're Dylan Bates who couldn't play last year because of an injury. Mm-hmm. So I think depth is a greater issue in that regard.
Chuck?
Well, the depth chart doesn't lie, John, and when you're looking at it, especially some of us have talked on defense, where you have got some of the same names and you're plugging them in at different positions, yeah, big-time reality. This, I think, was closer, and I agree with what you're saying, but this is clearly reality to me on depth.
All right, now there are a lot of people picking Tennessee to be the sleeper in the East. You've had some people pick them all the way to the Sugar Bowl. The guy admitted, well, I'm just throwing a dart at the wall here, but still he picked them to the Sugar Bowl. So I don't know that they would look at youth or depth as being an issue. But I think closer to the subject, you can certainly make a good case, those realities. Schedule, excuse or reality?
I'm going to pass and let somebody else say first.
Excuse.
Excuse.
Okay. Why?
Because you're facing the same teams you usually face. There's only one team on that schedule that I look at and I think, okay, Tennessee won't beat them, and that's Alabama. You got Oklahoma at home. You've beaten South Carolina.
Yeah.
Florida's not that good. You still can't beat them, but they're not that good. I would say that if you don't, and when I want to make sure I'm clear about that. I'm not saying they're going to win the East.
Right.
You're just talking about
8-4.
Yeah. Well, then if you can't do that, that's an excuse.
Okay. You guys agree or disagree?
I agree that it's the same schedule you play every year with Oklahoma as a pretty strong non-conference addition, but to me, I put that as a reality. I mean, it's the reality every year that you play in the toughest conference and play one of the toughest schedules.
Okay, Chuck, you go next. Very quickly, guys.
I agree that it would be an excuse, a lot because of what Jimmy said.
Okay, Bob?
I've been sold on the excuse side. I wanted to sit back and listen. But, yeah, I think in the end, yeah, you've got one team that's kind of the drop-in team. Everything else is the same. So, yeah, I'll lean slightly to 55 excuse and 45 reality.
It's a tough schedule. There's no question about it. But at the same time, most of the better teams in the SEC, if you're not talking about Mississippi State, you're talking the big name teams playing Oklahoma type team. So yeah, we'll say that's an excuse. So 2 realities and an excuse. But I think you got questions on all. The one I don't see as a real question is depth. I think that's an absolute reality, and there's no way around that one. All right, when we come back, biggest storyline so far at spring practice: DeBoard, the quarterbacks, and DeCam Sutton. We'll talk about them all. Come on back on the Sports Source.
Follow the Sports Source online at sportsource.tv and on Twitter at SportsSourceTV.